A warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I'm Chloe, your host from Premier Value Provider, and it's my absolute pleasure to have you here for our insightful webinar on key factors influencing employee engagement in ENPS in the Philippine corporate landscape. Before we begin, let me introduce my team accompanying me, Benjamin, our tech guru who will ensure a smooth sailing virtual experience for all of us. And lastly, but not certainly not least, our speaker for today, Dr. Marshall Valencia. So sit back, get comfortable, and get ready to embark on this enriching experience. Before we start, let me give you a brief introduction of who we are. PVP is an analytics, solution, and training company. We give you a valuable insights and practical solutions and targeted trainings and workshops like what we'll be doing today. By measuring, predicting, and tracking your HR metrics, we can guide and provide you with the most cost effective means of effecting changes that will drive progress in your organization. That's why we offer right data, deep data, and data that move you in the right direction. Our client portfolio includes companies from different sectors. We have banks, financial institutions, telecoms, hotels, FMCGs, and manufacturing companies. We have also served quite a number of government corporations and agencies. Now, for our house rules, let's make sure we're all on the same page. First up, listen attentively. Next, avoid multitasking. Put those phones on silent and close those extra tabs and give us your undivided attention. I promise it will be worth it. Last but not least, don't be shy. If you have a questions, you can type them on our Zoom chat box. We will address them at the end of our discussion. This is your opportunity to learn and to grow. Now for our key speaker, Dr. Marshall is a social organizational psychologist with over 20 years of experience as an HR and organizational consultant. He finished his PhD in social organizational psychology from Ateneo de Manila University. He is also currently the president and director for research and analytics of PB. His passions for data analytics comes from his extensive experience as a consultant in the field of human resources. With, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Marshall.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon. na
Good
pala.
afternoon, Dr. Marshall.
Thank you, Chloe. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see it? Okay na yung screen?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen now.
Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. Kamusta ang inyong araw ng kalayaan? Kahapon. So back to work. All right. Today, what we will have is actually this is a short presentation, ano? And then hopefully we will delve more on the Q&A, no? And hopefully stimulate yung discussion, no? Based on the short presentation that I'm going to provide. What I'm going to share with you is the results of a study that we have done at PVP using cumulative data from more than 80 companies now that we have worked with in the recent years. So we compiled ito yung data namin and then came up with some analysis, no, to identify, first of all, the levels of engagement and ENPS, or Employee Net Promoter Score, in the context, no, of Philippine organizations. And then more importantly, it's not just about identifying the levels. No? It's about determining what can we do about it. No? How do we push our engagement scores? How do we improve our ENPS scores? No? So at the macro level, using the data from the 80 organizations, we came up with an analysis which shows the general trend and pattern of the key factors, no, that influence engagement and ENPS. All right, so let me start with defining muna, no? Ano ba yung engagement na ginagamit natin or tinatawag natin? Parang nauso na siya, no? Probably in the past 10 years. Almost all organizations are already measuring and tracking engagement, no? But what does it really predict, no? And to begin with nga is, what is it really, no? Interestingly, dati, yung mga earlier years, probably 10, 12, 15 years ago, medyo hindi po nagsabay ang pag-aaral, no, ng employee engagement as opposed to what is being practiced in the corporate world. No? Many progressive companies have long been measuring engagement, but without really identifying exactly ano ba itong construct na engagement na tinatawag. Hindi pa ito the same lang as job satisfaction? Is it just the same as employee morale? Is it just the same as employee motivation? No? So actually, it's parang nako-confuse siya, no? Along with many other similar constructs. No? So up to a certain point nga sabi na parang trend na lang siya. No? But meanwhile, dun sa academic field naman, we have been trying to determine what is it exactly. Unfortunately, mas nauna kasi ang corporate practice, no? And ang napansin namin in the earlier years of measuring engagement, most companies were influenced by the instrument that was used by yung Gallup, no? Yung Gallup na consulting firm. Nilabas nila kasi yun, ano? And then, naglabas sila ng simple 12-item measure supposedly of engagement. But if you look at that measurement, actually, hindi siya engagement eh. What it was measuring are drivers of engagement. Iba yung nagda-drive, iba yung engagement itself. Now finally, after a lot of meticulous scientific studies, na-identify rin, na-isolate what employee engagement really is. No? So from a more scientific standpoint, it is actually capturing tatlong facets. No? First of all, it's a state of mind. Okay, meaning it exists sa utak lang ng mga tao. And it's made up of three things. Vigor, meaning energy. Absorption, meaning ikaw ba ay parang babad na babad sa trabaho, parang lumilipas yung oras na hindi mo namamalayan. And then third is dedication to the work. So vigor, absorption, and dedication. So in essence, yun talaga ang engagement. No? But when you look at the corporate practice, parang iba-iba ang ginagamit nilang definition. No? And for some, and for many actually, sabi na baka hindi sapat yung vigor, absorption, and dedication. Kasi pwedeng, you have the energy, you have the passion, you're dedicated, no? Pero it's not directed towards the company goals. No? So some were arguing na perhaps we should include dun sa engagement yung willingness to contribute towards company goals. Kasi pwede kang may vigor, may absorption, may dedication, pero hindi siya directed towards or aligned towards the company goals. So this is the definition that we have adopted. And ito po yung items na ginamit namin doon sa survey that we have been using sa PVP for all of our clients. So kung titingnan nyo, we narrowed it down, we shortlisted it, and we came up with 4 items. I am enthusiastic about my job. My job inspires me. I'm very motivated to do a good job for this organization. I often put more effort than is required to help the company succeed. So with these 4 items, we made the premise that this will actually capture the definition which we adopted vigor, absorption, dedication, and willingness, no, to contribute towards company goals. And true enough, no, over the years, ina-examine din namin yung kanyang mga psychometric properties, no, to ensure that it is a valid and a reliable measure. No? So, consistent naman po. And that's why we have adopted this this set of items. No? Now, that is engagement. Now, in the recent years, meron na namang another construct called ENPS or Employee Net Promoter Score. Saan naman to nanggaling? Well, it is an adoption of the NPS, no, which is actually a marketing metric. No? Matagal na siya actually ginagamit, no, sa marketing. Actually sa customer satisfaction, no? Measuring. Ito yung tanong na pag nag-avail ka ng isang service, bumili ka ng isang produkto, tapos may marireceive kang, let's say, SMS, no, or questionnaire asking you, on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you going to recommend this product or service to a friend or to a family member? Naging sikat din tong NPS, no, as a marketing, as a customer satisfaction metric. Kasi ang iksi niya, one item lang, no, na may measure mo na kaagad. Although, look at the item carefully, no? And inadapt siya, no, sa HR. It is the likelihood of whether, instead of having a product or a service, it's about the company, no, as a product, as a place to work for. No? So it was phrased sa ganito. No? It is the likelihood of whether an employee would be willing to recommend the company as a place to work for to your friends, or to your family members, to your relatives. Okay? So napakasimple yan, no? Scale of 1 to 10. Now, how is the scoring there? Kung sinabi ng isang empleyado, ang rating niya sa kumpanya ay 9 or 10, ang tawag sa kanya ay promoter. Ito yung mga gung-ho employees na, yes, happy ako, proud ako. Okay? And then yung 7 and 8 naman, ito yung mga passive employees na, yeah, masaya, pwede na, gano'n, no? And then kung 6 and below ang rating mo, you're already considered as a detractor na employee. Okay? So tatlong categories of employees are measured, no, based on their responses to this single item, no, single scale na measure. Okay? Now, paano kinocompute ang ENPS? Bibilangin ilang percent of the company ang promoters. Ilang percent yung detractors, and then sinasubtract yan. Yun yung NPS score. Okay? So, it is technically a company level measure. No? So, hindi siya individual measure. Unlike engagement is actually an individual level. No? Mini-measure mo yung tao. Ang ENPS, hindi eh. Ang mini-measure mo as a whole, no? Yung kumpanya. Now, lately, sinama to ng maraming companies na mini-measure na rin nila yung ENPS. But to be honest, if you look at the scores of engagement and ENPS, they will be very highly correlated. In fact, from a scientific standpoint, from academic point of view, hindi contentious pa ito kasi hindi klaro kung ano ang paghiwa-hiwalay. Is it a distinct construct? Magkaiba ba sila? Or are they just, the same thing which is labeled differently? Okay? But the more we look at it, no, based on the pattern of the scores, no, and then tinitingnan namin yung tinatawag na discriminant validity ng mga measures, malaki yung overlap ng dalawa. Malaki. But meron din aspects na nakaka-capture ng ENPS na hindi nakaka-capture doon sa engagement instrument, no? So that's why over the years, sabi namin, sige, kailangan pagsama natin, no? They may be highly correlated, but they will point some factors, point us to some factors that are uniquely or differentiated between the two constructs. Right? So, lagi naming sinasama ito. Right? So far, clearing engagement and ENPS. And I'm sure probably some of you have been tracking this over the years. Uh, in the past 4 years na, we have been collecting data from different organizations. Okay? And kinocompile po namin ito sa aming database. We store the organization level scores and we run some analysis. No? So, itong database na ginamit namin for this analysis was based on 21,531 employees coming from 85 of our clients. And kung napansin nyo, mostly 2/3 of them are from the service industry. No? And then there's 18% gobyerno, although service pa rin po yan. And then just a tiny bit, 16% ang nasa manufacturing sector. Okay? So just to give you an idea, kasi the conclusions, baka you might say, oh, it's the average of which sector. So largely, it might be biased towards the service sector. Now, yung overall assessment namin, yung instrument that we are using, yung aming organizational assessment survey, it's actually a very comprehensive survey. We call it HR Meter. Some of you probably have availed of our service. Ang main point ng HR Meter is to capture the key HR metrics, focusing on engagement, job satisfaction, ENPS, of course. But we also capture intention to stay, subjective job performance, and then we incorporated, lalo na nung nag-start yung pandemic, we incorporated the mental health metrics kasi naging importanteng metrics na rin siya sa atin, sa HR. So we were capturing stress, anxiety, depression, and also burnout. Okay, so these are the key metrics that we are tracking and capturing in the HR Meter. But at the same time, which is more important actually, we also measure the various potential key drivers of all these key metrics. So ano mga yun? Ito yung mga employee experience factors. So medyo marami po, medyo comprehensive itong aming survey na typically ginagawa sa mga kliyente namin. It touches on relationships, so supervisory support, teamwork, trust, rewards and recognition, kasama na dyan yung compensation and benefits, factors pertaining to job and growth, role clarity, job challenge, workload, voice, bottom-up communication, empowerment, career development training, performance management, and of course, yung work environment. We look at work resources support, how well is the communication, interdepartment, systems and procedures, safety, work-life balance. So ito yung kabuuhan supposedly ng employee experience factors. So employees will rate the company based on these experiences. And also they rate their level of engagement, satisfaction, ENPS, intention to stay, performance, and mental health. And then we run some predictive and descriptive analytics para ma-determine namin kung ano talaga yung mga nagda-drive dito sa mga key metrics. Now, for this presentation, I am only focusing on engagement and employee net promoter score, kasi ito yung main point natin. Now, kung titingnan nyo, once we get the scores, each company, kasi sabi ko sa inyo may 85 companies that's included in analysis. Each company has scores in terms of engagement and ENPS. Yung engagement score is determined by the percentage among the total number of employees who are considered as engaged. Okay, so like this one, itong kumpanyang to, 72% based on our instrument, 72% of the employees are fully engaged. So we assign that company then a score of 72. Okay? Notice na may small percentage of employees that are actively disengaged. It's understandable. And then merong yung mga passives, yung mga middle scores. Yung unengaged na tinatawag natin. And then there's the ENPS. Sabi ko sa ENPS, tatlong klase. Ilan percent ang promoter, ilang percent ang passive, ilang percent ang detractors. And then to compute the ENPS, we subtract the percentage of detractors from the percentage of promoters. Okay? So, posible po na negative ang ENPS kapag mas marami ang detractor kumpara sa promoters. Okay, so obviously, the higher the percentage, it means the more promoters there are relative to the detractors. Okay, so pwede kang umabot sa 100% na ENPS kung 100% ay promoters. No? But that is practically very, very rare. Kahit po yung mga world-class, mga well-loved companies like Google, nasa 90 plus lang po sila, no? Hindi naman 100% talaga. Alright? So we capture these scores along with the many employee experience factor scores. And then yun ang ginamit namin sa analysis. Right? Okay, now let me jump into the key findings. Now, based on the data from the 85 companies that we have been tracking, ito po yung lumalabas, no, over the past few years. Okay, yung engagement nag-hover po sa 72, 65, 65, and then more or less na around 68% na, no, in the recent times. Ang ENPS nasa 26, 32, 25, and 38%. Okay? So the question now, is that good? Is that bad? Well, two ways, no? You could check your company score against benchmarks, no, outside of your company. Or, no, you just benchmark from within, no? Meaning compare yourself from your previous performance. No? Either way would work, although ako personally, may bias na why bother so much looking at external, no? When you can just use your own internal benchmark, no? See if you are improving. That's why you need to track this yearly. Yung ibang companies nga, twice a year pa, no? Or even 3 times a year. Okay. Now, to give you an idea, kung on the average, tayo dito sa Pilipinas, nasa latest, nasa 68%, no? Meaning 68%, or that's almost 2/3, no? Around 2/3 of the employees are typically engaged. How do we compare sa benchmarks? Now, to give you an idea, these are the 2023 global average benchmark score for engagement. Nasa 72% po, na based on some global surveys. Which means, on the average, medyo mas mababa tayo ng konti. No? We're slightly below the global benchmark. But there are variations, no, across the different sub-industries. No? So for example, sa the technology industry, sa healthcare, normal po yan, no, na umaabot sila sa line of 8, line of 7, no, mga financial services, professional services, and even the retail. And then yung lower end of the scores naman are usually sa manufacturing, transport, utilities, and government. No? Usually nasa lower end siya ng, sa lower side siya, no, ng average na 72%. Okay? So in short, we're not too far, no? But of course, it can be very varied. No? May some companies which are very high, may some companies which are quite low, no? So you should know, no, kung nasaan kayo, no? Now, how about ENPS? So lately, nag-hover tayo sa 38%. Is that good or is that bad? Well, Actually, if you look at the global benchmark, napakataas ng average ENPS natin sa Pilipinas. Okay, nasa 12 lang. Nasa 12% lang, no? Ang global average. But then, it varies, no? So sa technology, healthcare, medyo nasa upper end, no? Pero tayo talagang unusually high tayo, no? At 38. And then yung other industries like the manufacturing, normal po sa kanila, no? Yung 6%, even sa government, no? Na 3%. Okay, so in terms of ENPS, napakataas po tayo on the average. But in terms of engagement, slightly, nasa lower end tayo, no, ng, compared to the global benchmarks. Right? So that's where we are. No, yun yung state of engagement and ENPS natin. Wala kasing extensive, no, na pag-aaral or surveys dito sa Pilipinas na nagtatrack talaga dito. I would say probably yung Tower Watson, meron silang benchmark data, but remember, very expensive ang Tower Watson, no? So ang typical na kanilang mga clients would be the multinational corporations, no? So therefore, yung kanilang database are made up of mostly no, multinational corporations. So medyo, I would say, a bit biased, no, yung mga benchmarks nila. All right, now let's go to the more critical aspect, no? Yung tinatawag nating drivers. So ginawa namin, yung naming scores, no? We run what we call predictive analytics. Ang daming employee experience factors. We run some statistical analysis to determine their statistical impact on engagement and on ENPS. Meaning, when these drivers are identified as significant drivers, meaning statistically, may impact sila, no, sa pag-increase or sa pag-decrease ng scores ng engagement or ENPS. Okay? Now, ang nilalagay naming scores dyan are what you call impact factors. No? So for example, how do you interpret this? Halimbawa, si top management, trust and confidence, it's identified as parang siyang pinakamalakas na driver as far as engagement is concerned. Okay, gaano siya kalakas? Well, meron siyang 2.6x, no, na factor. Meaning, if an employee rates the company high in terms of trust and confidence, he or she is 2.6 times more likely to be highly engaged. Okay, ganun kalakas, no? 2.6x ang kanyang likelihood ratio siya, no? Likelihood of being highly engaged. So, the higher the impact factor is, the stronger that driver is in terms of pushing, no, the scores higher or pwede ring push down, no, lower. So, kung mababa ang top management trust and confidence, ganun din kalakas ang impact niya sa pag-pull down ng scores. Okay, so hinilera lang namin, no, these are the factors na paulit-ulit na lumalabas. Usually lumalabas doon sa 85 companies that we looked at. Okay, and then we got the average of their impact factors. Ito po ang lumalabas. So, medyo may dilemma nga ako na parang sabi ko, ano bang papakita ko? Top 5, top 10, top 15, top 16, no? So anyway, we made the cut-off, no, na anything that has a 2x, no, 2 times ang kanyang impact, well, that's malakas yun, no? Strong enough yun, no? So titingnan na lang natin based on the ranking. Ano ba talaga ang mga significant, no, na drivers? All of them are significant, no? But some of them obviously are a lot stronger, no? So same thing din sa ENPS, no? Halimbawa, ito again, top management concern naman, lumalabas na 3.9 ang impact factor niya. Meaning, If an employee gave a high rating on top management concern, ibig sabihin sa pananaw niya talagang may concern ang management sa kanya, he or she will be 3.9 times more likely to become a promoter. May promoter, may passive, may detractor. So in short, ito yung mga nakaka-push ng ENPS scores. Right? Now, go over the list here. So makikita nyo may mga common drivers like anything that has something to do with top management. Trust, confidence, and concern. Nandyan sila sa top 2 or top 1 nga dito. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'd like to point out there. Okay, apparently, it's a very strong driver for both engagement at saka yung ENPS. Okay, so malaking role ang perception of how top management relates to employees, which to me again makes sense. We are a very, very relational culture. Malaking bagay sa atin yung perceived na pakikipagkapwa, relationship. So that's the first thing that actually we noticed, kasi hindi mo probably isipin mo yung mga usual suspects, na ano lang yan something to do with sweldo, compensation, benefits, recognition, yung mga usual suspects natin. But again, our data from 85 companies, parang lumalabas na, top management trust, confidence, and concern is an important factor. Okay? Next, yung usual suspect na compensation and benefits. Tingnan nyo mabuti kung nasaan sila. Benefits, yes. Nasa top 4 siya ng engagement. 2.4 times ang impact factor niya. Number 4 din siya sa ENPS. 3.5x ang impact factor niya. So consistent, yung benefits. But where is compensation? Compensation is a bit lower here in ENPS. And in fact, dito sa engagement, wala siya. Okay, so it's not really the money that is driving engagement. Okay, it's more of the benefits. Okay, so that's the second thing I'd like to highlight. And then the third thing is the usual suspects. Role clarity, empowerment, career development, providing with the right resources, support. Yep, they're all there. Recognition as you would expect. Okay, but there's a fourth factor there na medyo baka feeling ko hindi napapansin ng maraming organization. Tingnan niyo itong brand love. Okay, we started measuring itong brand love. Ano yung brand love? This is a fancy name for organizational identification. Meaning, yung mga empleyado nyo ba, they feel one and the same with the company. Kumbaga yung self-identity nila at saka yung organizational identity, nag-fuse ba? Diba? Parang sa GMA, kapuso talaga ako. Right? Or kapamilya talaga ako. Gaano ka kakapuso, gaano ka kapamilya. Yun yung brand love. From an academic perspective, we call that organizational identification. But in the corporate world, we notice na parang mas closer siya sa tinatawag na brand love. So again, brand love is mukhang consistent factor siya dyan. And perhaps, maybe, organizations should indeed track this and maybe come up with some programs to improve brand love. Okay? So yun po yung mga 4 important elements na. Now, again, i-highlight ko ulit no, pa isa-isa yung 4 na main conclusions that I'm trying to raise here. No? And alongside that, I'm proposing some recommendations, no, on how to address itong mga conclusions. So again, the first conclusion was, masyadong relational tayo. Top management, trust, concern, confidence are very strong drivers of both engagement and eNPS. Sa top 1 sila or top 2. So dapat bigyan talaga natin ng pansin yan. No? So, how do we improve this? No, yan yun image management yan. No? Top management, image management. No? Yep, things like regular two-way communication. Foster open communication channels where employees feel heard. Remember, this is a psychological perception. Kahit nga hindi real siya, no? Basta importante na, may effort naman, no? But of course, it's another question kung napaperceive siya as something which is sincere, no? You might want to hold town halls, leader Q&A sessions, or anonymous feedback surveys, no? So anything that establishes and strengthens yung two-way communication, lalo na yung bottom-up communication, which is often lacking in most organizations. Performance recognition programs. Sinama ko rin dyan kasi publicly recognizing employee achievements and contributions studies are showing that it can and it will build trust and confidence. Okay, malaking bagay po yan. Show genuine care. So medyo challenging, no? Ano ibig sabihin ng how do you come across as genuine? Madali siguro kung tao to tao, but what about, management, no? Entity to tao, no? Well, you might want to implement well-being programs and actively address employee concerns to demonstrate that their well-being matters. Okay, remember, malaking bagay yan, sentro yan sa kanila, yung well-being nila. Alright, second conclusion. Sinabi ko na ito earlier, mukhang yung benefits, more than compensation, apparently matters, both sa engagement at saka sa eNPS. So some suggestions here. Well, which I think most of you are doing na rin, but yep, intensify it. Invest in work-life balance programs. Flexible work arrangements, childcare options, wellness programs, no? Importante siya. At na-highlight to all the more, no, when we went through the pandemic, and then lalo na pag nung lumabas na tayo, no, sa pandemic. Provide comprehensive benefits packages, no, go beyond the basic health insurance to offer benefits that cater to diverse needs. Remember, napaka-diverse na ng employee demographics ngayon. No? So nowhere in the history of the corporate world, no, na magkakatabi po side by side ang 5 generations. No? Ano yun? Yung Gen Z, Millennial, may lower Millennial, may upper Millennial, may Gen X, and then may konting baby boomers pa nga. No? So very diverse. No? Expectations, needs, and values. So you might want to reconsider the comprehensiveness of your benefits packages. Tailor benefits to different employee segments. Okay, so not just the generations, but let's say yung single mothers, single fathers, no, married at saka single, no, and many other possible important na demographics. You might want to consider those as well. Third conclusion, the usual suspects in empowerment, career development, recognition. Yep, tama naman, no? Yung intuitive na feeling ng marami na yan talagang nagda-drive ng engagement. Tama naman, no? Lumalabas naman sa data namin. So, how do you address these? No? Delegate tasks and provide ownership. Offer mentorship and training programs, of course. And then implement recognition programs. And then finally, yung binabanggit ko kanina, no, yung brand love. This is the same as organizational identification or the feeling of oneness. Parang one and the same yung sarili mo and the organization. Well, it seems, based on our data, that it is worth focusing on. So, how do you increase brand love? One, promote a strong company culture. Clearly define and communicate your values, your mission and vision to create a sense of belonging. Okay, so hindi lang siya basta nakapaskil, no, yung mga vision statements natin, mission statements, no, but maybe more deliberate efforts, no, to continuously remind us and to strengthen, no, itong mga values, mission, vision natin. Encourage employee involvement in social impact initiatives. No? So kung may mga CSRs kayo, allow employees to volunteer for causes that they care about, fostering a sense of purpose and social responsibility. And then, masaya ito. Celebrate company wins together. Okay, huwag po nating kalimutan to celebrate wins. No? Recognize and celebrate company milestones and achievements to build a sense of shared success and pride. Not only at the organizational level, but even at the team level. How often, baka nakakalimutan natin, no, mag-celebrate ng wins. Right? So, with that, yan na po ang dulo ng aking presentation. I'd like to open the floor for your thoughts, your comments, no, or your questions. Chloe, meron na bang pumasok?
Hello, sir. Yes, we have a question right here from Sir Sean. Hi, can I ask for the source or basis of the 2023 Global Average ENPS of measuring externally the engagement as well?
Yeah, we can provide you with the citation for that.
All right.
Actually, these are publicly available na mga documents, no? There are some mga bang name? May mga consulting organizations kasi na medyo malaki sila worldwide, no, who are tracking these values, no.
Okay. Okay, for the next, sir, what are the challenges faced by Philippine companies in measuring and improving employee engagement and ENPS?
Challenges, okay, ako first and foremost, the challenge of even, deciding to measure. Okay? Ang dami na nagme-measure, regular na, pero ang dami pa rin hindi, no? Lalo na yung mga smaller organizations. They find the assessment part, organizational assessment part as masyadong matrabaho at magastos. And they might argue na hindi, wala kaming technical competencies, no, to do these things. But alam nyo, importante yung assessment, no? Kasi if we jump into interventions, no, based on intuition, based on anecdotes, based on qualitative data, medyo baka lalong mas marami tayong masasayang effort, no? So the first challenge is to make a decision, no? Talagang kasama yan, no, sa ating effort, sa ating budgeting, and internally, sabi nga namin dapat mga HR, no, should have the basic competencies, no, of developing even simple tools and running all the basic analysis, no, and run HR analytics in order to do the assessments, no, on their own. Kung hindi man pwede, maraming options, no? Of course, yung mga known na mga consulting firm na they charge by the millions. But there are boutique na mga consulting firms, no? Like us, which you can approach. In fact, marami kami ino-offer, no, as part of our mga industry studies na if you join our industry study surveys, you can avail of our services for free, no? So ang kapalit lang is yung data nyo, of course, anonymous naman yan. No? So you get your own report, no? But at the same time, you contribute to the industry level benchmark, no? In fact, ang parang wini-workout talaga namin ngayon sana sa gobyerno, no? Kasi yung gobyerno natin, government organizations, institutions, wala eh. They don't allocate budget for this. No? Kasi hindi mandated eh. Hindi pa mandated. Hopefully soon, no, ima-mandate niya ng civil service. So yun yung challenges doon. No?
Okay, sir, for our next, we have a few pa. From Cyrene Bondok. Currently, we're measuring our engagement internally. I'm curious what would be the advantage of measuring externally the engagement as well.
Okay, you mean internally meaning kayo, no? So you're asking the advantage of having a third party do it for you. Okay, una, the trust. No, kami napansin namin no na many of our lalo na mga large company clients namin no. Technically they can do it on their own eh. Pero sabi nila hindi eh, iba pa rin ang level of perceived trust on the survey when it is conducted by a third party. Mas nagtitiwala yung mga empleyado na hindi sila hahabulin, hindi sila babalikan, no? And they are more more honest, no, with their opinions, their perceptions. Kasi yung surveys namin may mga qualitative components yan, no? They can express, no, the reasons for their ratings. So, kung internal yan, ang laki ng distrust factor dyan. Nakakatakot eh. No? The data is being held within the organization. So, yun talagang pinakamalaki. Second, at consistent ito there is always defensiveness na mangyayari if you do the analysis on your own. Almost certain yan. It's a bias but nagiging very defensive tayo. Lalo na in aspects where hindi totoo no, or no way or threaten tayo. Right? So unlike pag third party, we can tell you the true picture, the story, no, without fear of repercussions. And true enough, lagi namin na-observe yan. Every time we present, there is always defensiveness, especially in areas where hindi nila matanggap, no, na medyo mababa yung scores. Okay, so yun po yung advantage. More objective at mas mako-confront kayo with the realities. Third, we can also provide you with some benchmarks, no, based on the data that we have. Yun po yung tatlong advantage. Anything else, Chloe? Sorry.
Sir, meron. Madami-dami tayo ngayon. Next po, how frequently should ENPS surveys be conducted? And what factors and what factors should be considered when determining the survey frequency?
Okay. As often as you can. Pero ang ending, almost all organizations, ang nagiging feasible sa kanila is once a year at the very least. Kasi importante, when you run, you have some conclusions, you have some recommendations. Before you run again, you have to show your employees na, may nangyari na so far dun sa recommendations. Kasi if you keep on running without, addressing the issues, no, and then trying to lay out the recommendations, baka magkaroon ng distrust, no, yung mga employees doon. So how often should you run? It's how fast can you act on your recommendations. Okay, parang sa parang sa doktor, di ba? Sabihin na once a year, lalo na pag medyo matanda ka na, no? Pero isn't it better if every quarter na monitor mo? Di ba? Yung BP mo, cholesterol mo, no? So that the recalibration is more, more frequent, no? Kasi sometimes a year might be too late, no? Nag-iba na yung landscape, no? Nag-iba na yung context, no? But at the very least, sana 1 year. So it's just a question of how fast and do you have the resources, no, to do it. Another consideration kasi yung survey fatigue. Yun ang complaint din ng many of our clients. No? Sabi na, naku, survey fatigue na. But there's a way to devise it, no, na hindi naman sila survey fatigue. All right, any other questions there?
Yes, sir. Here's the next. How can we encourage our employees to answer our satisfaction surveys without them feeling as if we have violated their confidentiality? We would like to reach out to employees who have concerns with the management processes, but whenever we touch base with them, they would insist that everything is fine.
Yes. Yun, ang sinasabi ko na third party na mag-i-implement sa inyo, yun ang malaking factor yan. Okay, so yun ang suggestion ko doon, no? To encourage them, third party, talagang kita-kita nila, no, na very transparent, anonymous yung kanilang responses and that there's no way, no, na ma-identify sa sila, no? Like kami, may mga qualitative parts mo. To be honest, we can drill down, no, with our dashboards down to kung sinong tao ang nagsabi niyan. So of course, we won't do that, no? Pinangako natin sa kanila yan eh. Yung in exchange for their honest opinions, no, and feelings and perceptions, we promise them na protected ang identity nila, anonymous, and that all the reports are aggregated. No? In fact, when we drill down the reports, let's say, kasi some reports are down to the department or the unit level, nililimit din namin yan. We won't provide, no, department level. Kung department nyo ay dalawa lang kayo o tatlo. No? Kasi for sure, madi-drill down talaga. Lalo na if may mga naka-attach na mga qualitative comments. No? So, yep, yan po yung value, no, of having a third-party provider do it for you.
Okay, sir. For our next question, how can we influence the top management to these conclusions? Any approach you can suggest or data as to suffice the EXICOM to buy in?
Ano yun yung challenge, no? Depende kung gaano ka open at data-driven yung management niyo. Kung gaano sila ka-progressive. Kung nasa medyo malalaking corporations kayo, at saka medyo younger ang mga EXICOM ninyo, almost sure yan, most of them, malakas na yung buy-in, no? Sa mga data-driven na mga approaches, no? Ang challenge lang, yung sinong resistant sa data. Usually, yung mga baby boomers, kung may mga natitira pa kayo yung mga VPs ninyo, no, na medyo pa-retire na tapos nasa 60s na or almost 60 na, baka yun yung maraming resistance pa. But the younger ones, most of them, they truly understand the value of being data-driven. Okay, so yun. And siguro ganito, another approach would be ipatikim nyo sa kanila. No? Ibig sabihin, do a pilot, no, sa isang small department, no, para makita nila yung big picture, no, kung what kind of data or information ang pwedeng malabas. Kami, it's always a very difficult, it's a challenge for us, no, to convince many of our clients na gaano ka useful yung napoproduce naming reports, no? Especially when we start running the predictive analytics. many organizations kasi, they rely only on descriptive analytics. Ano yung descriptive? Yun yung nakikita mo taas, baba. O yung engagement namin this year, ganito, last year, ganito, mataas na kami. So, it's just descriptive. No, it doesn't really move you. What will move you more is when you start attaching the predictive analytics, no, determining the key drivers. And more importantly, kung makita ng top management, no, yung cost of inaction or cost of the action. Ibig sabihin may cost benefits, no, na makikita, no, based on the numbers. So sasabihin mo, oh, if we don't act on, let's say, gender imbalance na nakikita sa survey, ano ang mangyayari? Gaano kalaking productive hours ang mawawala? Ano yung mga possible consequences? We measure stress, anxiety, depression, and burnout. Most top management people would say, ang hirap i-measure ng impact nun, no? Sige, kasi required lang ng gobyerno, no? Required na, we have programs like that. But for many, they think of it as simply gastos lang yan, no? Why? Because HR failed to argue the ROI, no, of investing in mental health. Nako-compute po yan. No, makikita kung ilang milyon ang nawawala kapag hindi mo ma-address ang depression and anxiety ng mga empleyado mo. Makikita mo kung ilan yung mga man days, productive days, no, ang mga nasa-save natin, and so on. So again, that's the power of analytics. No? So kailangan mapakita, no, na may makonvince yan, ay, oo nga, no. So use HR analytics. All right, anything else?
Yes, sir. We have 3 more. Do you think companies' vision and mission and its core values matter the most in influencing company brand?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yun yung isa sa mga bagay na tinitake for granted, no? Kasi parang ginagawang ano lang yan, vision, mission statement, parang token, matters na yan sa maraming organization, no? But a lot of case studies have shown that those who were really serious about it and they do, deliberate efforts continuously to orient people, to realign people, no? And then, review dun sa mga strategic planning and mga workshops nila every year na talagang they keep on realigning. Ang lakas ng impact. No? Ang lakas ng impact. Well, we see that in large organizations. You might say, paano naman kung medyo small organizations? Sabi, all the more. All the more kung small organizations kayo kasi ramdam na ramdam yung kultura. Okay? And unfortunately, whatever is the culture of, the few who rules or yung mga owners ng company, ramdam na ramdam yan, no? So, all the more na kailangan mag-realign, kailangan i-review lagi, kailangan i-instill, no? At iparamdam sa mga tao na buhay ito, no? Yung mga vision, mission values na ito. So you can use it to your advantage, pero pwede rin siyang magiging disadvantage at times, no? Especially if the culture is medyo weak, medyo malabo, or it's undesirable, no, to many of the employees.
Okay, so for our last question, can you give us some tips and tricks on how to construct an effective engagement and ENPS survey if we are to develop internally?
Well, yung ENPS, it's standard eh. Kita nyo naman yung question, di ba? It's the same question which is being used. Yung engagement measure, yun yung tricky part. No? But just like any measurement, you start with a clear definition of the construct that you want to measure. Okay, so sabi mo engagement. Ito interestingly, nakita ko na some companies, they actually use the ENPS to measure and represent engagement itself, which scientifically hindi tugma yun, but maybe it works for them, no? Kasi winiweigh nila yung practical side na dapat simple ang instrument and so on. it always starts with a very clear conceptual definition. What do you exactly mean by that? Pag clear na sa inyo yung definition, nag-a-agree na kayo. Then, you translate that into specific items. Okay. In the past, bigyan ko na kayo ng tip. In the past, kung yung talagang very scientific na approach, no, you will do qualitative studies, magpatanong-tanong to develop those items, no? Pero itong suggestion ko, one, you can resort to the scientific literature. May access na tayo dyan. No? Scientific literature kasi, they have ready-made, well-validated and reliable instruments. Okay, so that's one. Second, kung hindi wala kayong tiwala pa rin doon, no? And gusto nyo mas customized pa rin sa inyo, then, yep, you can create your own based on a clear definition. Ang importante yung definition. Do not start creating items unless nag-agree kayo dun sa definition. And then, use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can, craft the items for you once your definition is clear. Tingnan nyo. Ang ganda ng mga suggestions na pwede mga lumabas doon. And let's see if it resonates, no? Doon sa inyo. And then try it out. No? You do a pilot test.
Okay, sir, may pahabol tayong question. For a very small organization, how do you keep it engaged? Ano lang daw sila, sir? 4 lang yung headcount nila and they are running out of programs or engagement activities.
Ala, ang saya nga niyan. 4 lang kayo. Di inuman na lang kayo, magkaraoke. Alam nyo, ganito be conscious always na yung mga typical na mga programs that you will see that are working for many organizations. Take note, no? Yung context niyan, no? Minsan based on size, ibang approach, no, based on the size. Yung sinasabi mo 4 na headcount, yung the Filipino approach to engagement, ano bang Pinoy approach? Karaoke, yung parang ganon, konsepto. Hindi yung formal, no, team building, yung mga ganon. Yung pakialam ang tawag hindi tawag sa psikolohiyang Pilipino, no? Yung pakikipagkapwa-tao, no? Yung may mga practical approaches na kung 4 lang kayo. So, mas manageable nga yan.
Ayun. I think wala na po tayong questions. May pahabol pa po ba tayo?
May naka-raise ng hand. Tama ba si Mabel?
Hello. Hello, Miss Mabel. You have questions po for Dr. Marshall? Baka napindot lang niya, sir.
Alright. Sige.
Ayun. Ayun, so far, ubos na po yung mga questions natin. And thank you for everyone. As you can see, we have a QR code on our screen. Kindly scan this QR code for our evaluation. And thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Marshall, and thank you everyone for participating in this webinar. We hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you. Have
Thank you.
a good afternoon, everyone. Please do respond to our evaluation. Thank you.
We don't wanna go out, but all these moments keep reminding me of just how